Barney Facebook groups are weird. They're fun, but sometimes they're not. We have Barney History Fans, run by fans of the show. They post history tidbits, facts, trivia, and a bunch of other stuff relating to the history of the Barney franchise, and it's just really fun, right? It's all fans as members of the group, and even a ton of original crew members from body actors to voices on the show. It's very well populated, and for the most part, well moderated. Then we have these other two groups, Stupendous and Barney Fan Club, both just general Facebook groups relating to Barney and also run by fans. Here fans can chat, talk about the different seasons, favorite episodes, make jokes, memes, all kinds of stuff, right? It's exactly what you'd want in a group tailored to what you love. Then we have Barney plush fans. Yeah, there really aren't too many of these groups, huh? This one isn't so good. I mean, it was, but now it's not. Barney Plush Fans is a group started and run by a former production member of Barney and Friends, and with admins consisting of past crew members. A recipe for disaster or success depending on your outlook. Barney Plush Fans is a gimmick group, meaning that your posts are to be focused primarily on things such as the different plush dolls produced over the years, the companies involved in making them, or even the suits used across the many years of the Barney franchise and how they were kept up with. It's such a nice, wholesome premise, a bit limited in its scope, but was made from a place of passion and love. What's so great about this group was the fact that, like History Fans, it's populated with former cast members of the franchise, including Bob West and head writer Stephen White. People would often post pics of their Barney dolls, collection updates. It was a lot of fun. Eventually the moderation started to slow and people started posting random questions that had nothing to do with anything, or questions asking what company would handle the show better between Hasbro and Mattel, and you're just sitting being like, is this relevant at all? Like actually? But the reason we're here is not because of that, but a variety of reasons leading up to a big one. As mentioned before, the Plush Fans group is run by a former crew member who's been a tad bit problematic, like to many people. Whether it be removing normal posts unprompted, despite there being nothing abnormal about them, their memory not being the best and getting upset at fans pointing out show facts they'd gotten wrong when we have photo proof of it, or just kicking fans from the group based on assumptions and misunderstandings. That being said, let's talk about what happened recently. I've been making charms, resin charms. For years and years I've always wanted to make my own little trinkets like my friends and have never really been skilled enough to make it work. But I finally was able to produce a bunch of charms and keychains of my original Barney artwork. I was so proud of how they came out that I posted pics of them to the Barney Plush Fans group. The admin yelled at me insisting that I not sell them, ranting about copyright infringement, to which I responded with, and I quote, "I'm well aware." I literally had no intention of doing so. They were to be handed out to those who'd been Patreon members of mine for months and months as a thank you, as well as personal friends and family of mine, including original crew members of Barney and Friends. He's like, great. Shared my pics to Barney Plush Fans and some other Facebook group he made. I don't know. Come 2 days later, he not only deletes the post for quote-unquote breaking the rules, despite the fact he told me to my face that it was fine, but then proceeds to vague post about how I'm selling my Barney works and am scheming. Naturally, I'm like, hold on, what happened? And then I realized, oh, he saw I mentioned Patreon and assumed that meant, hey, people pay on Patreon, so that means this person is selling this stuff on Patreon to those people on Patreon, which it's like, no, not once did I ever mention me selling anything to anyone, ever. It quickly became clear that they weren't just against me selling my Barney works, which again, I wasn't and never have, but were against me making and giving anything out at all, even when no money was even involved. Guys, if you send your family members a drawing of your favorite character, I don't care what character, it could be Mickey Mouse, it could be SpongeBob. If you send your family members a drawing of your favorite cartoon character in the mail or in hand, you're literally going to jail. I'm sorry. That's it. You're going to be incarcerated. I just don't do it. You're going to jail. I explained all of this in a post on the group, and once this happened, I was overloaded with love and support from the Barney fan community. expressing their disappointment in the admin for their actions, as well as relaying to me that this was not an isolated incident, which I was well aware of as I'd had troubles with them before. It's wild just how hard everyone went in defending me and my works and stood as a testament to not only how far I must have come, but the strength of the fan community as a whole. It didn't hurt me that my post was removed. What hurt was that I was lied to by a former cast member of a franchise I grew up on and blasted in front of 3,000 people, some of which were also integral to that same franchise. It was rude, it was untrue, it was ugly, and it was embarrassing. So many people rallied against this, attempting to convey this misunderstanding to the admin, to which they refused to listen. I even posted a final response on the matter, insisting that I hope everyone could see this and form their own opinion. Their response? They removed my post and blocked me from the group. Not only this, but once the community began sticking up for me and showing their support over why this wasn't right, the admin began deleting those same comments, removing any evidence that they were being nasty. This is why screenshots exist. So, I'm bringing it on stage so that everyone can see my response to everything that transpired, as it's a symbol as to what happens when Barney's image is controlled entirely by those overprotective of the franchise. Those first few Facebook groups I mentioned are beautiful because they're run by fans. We can laugh, joke, share our mutual love for a kid's franchise we were brought up on, and not be restricted. It is 30 years past the airing of Barney and Friends, and at this time, it is 10 plus years past the final episode of the series. Times pass and times change. How we all express our love for the character changes with time. I can understand the desire to overprotect Barney, especially with someone who was on the show working during those early years. It must have been rough. But there comes a point where your assumptions of a person's character at face value can ruin you and your reputation. As an artist, I do what I do to spread love. That's the entire intent. Knowing that I'm not alone in this disappointment from a former crew member eases my heart greatly. Barney Plush Fans is forever a shell of what it once was. If you're passionate about Barney and are a fan, make a Facebook group. Share your passion. It doesn't matter who a person is or what they were to you. No one humiliates others, spreads misinformation, and refuses to show empathy from a place of love. It's upsetting to know that a character we grew up on, based around love and imagination, was crafted by someone who appears to have grown to resent the spread of it if it involves our favorite dinosaur. At the same time, it's relieving to know that the love that Barney instilled in us remains all the same when something isn't right. Forgiveness is forever in my heart, even if it's going to take a bit. Our stage keeps playing despite those who wish to overturn it. Our express keeps running regardless of any obstacles. The Barney the Dinosaur fan community is strong and one I am forever grateful to be a part of. Thank you for boarding my rainbow line. See you at the next stop.